So what's going up, YouTube? Going on YouTube? Got another video coming at you from the RC Dungeon. I have a couple more videos that'll be loaded up before this one. As you can see, truck's all buttoned up, and it's pretty dirty. I'm just gonna talk about what I've went through with this thing, guys. I didn't video everything with this, but I ran into problems with the diff cases and some pinion issues and all that stuff, and this thing has fought me, still fighting me during the break-in process and everything of this the ESP, the G340. I've had clutch problems. I've had just killing spark plug after spark plug. Of course, I am running it rich. It's pretty much all pretty much seated in now for the better part of. I went ahead and threw in my last tank of Dominator in this thing to go ahead and finish running. Basically, it would have been like, might as well say, the third tank to start really ripping on it off-road. I mean, I run it a little bit in my yard. You know, after idling basically a tank and a half through it, heat cycling is how I did it. This pipe is absolutely ludicrously loud. It's the Jet Pro Cyclone. It seems to pull from the bottom to the top. I can't complain about the pipe. It's just so freaking loud. It killed me, just the idling tanks. You know, I had to kind of just leave it sit and idle away from me. It was so freaking loud. I was going to do a break-in video, but, you know, I figured, you know, wasn't no sense of really doing that. I broke it in the same way as, you know, I break in any of my stuff. First tank, you know, heat cycle. Idle at 15 minutes. I pull the plug out of it, roll it to bottom dead center. You know, this one, the first time the first time it idled, it went to 15 minutes, and I did it for another 15 on a very rich setting, and then I kind of did a half an hour because this tank is so huge on this thing. So actually, like 3 tanks through this would have probably been like, if you're running a ball haul, would have been like probably 4.5 tanks or something like that. So. But anyhow, I had trouble with the clutch. I don't know what the crap. I had bought a brand new 8K high response clutch, the complete setup from DDM. On the first time I went to run this thing, I don't know what was going on. It was revving up, clutch wasn't engaging, so I tore it all back apart. Started having, I took it, you know, cleaned all my thread lock off my clutch bolts. Everything looked good. Put it back together. You know, torqued these down to, you know, the 80 foot-pounds, I believe what they're supposed to be. I actually torqued them to the specification. Still started giving me problems. It was pulling. Then it started to pull where, you know, I couldn't get it to idle. You hit the brakes, it would quit, almost like I was having a linkage problem. You know, obviously I knew it wasn't a linkage problem. It was the fact is when you hit the brakes, it was just holding back on the drive line, putting in it would stall the engine out. So I fought that. I managed to get through almost a whole tank of gas that way. You know, just a constant slow pull up and down the road. And then it just got to the point where it was so bad that I couldn't deal with it no more. So going on the lines of the third tank, I brought it in, pulled the odor off of it, the engine off of it again. Started looking at everything. You know, I pulled it off, and of course my clutch belt was dragging. So, you know, I started looking closer at things, and the bolts in the holes of the clutch, I don't know whether DDM sent me the wrong bolts. Maybe I ordered the wrong bolts when I put it together. I didn't really notice that because I had assembled this engine a long time ago. It had enough play. I think it was letting, you know, the clutch maybe slide around a little bit, maybe to one side higher, and just rubbing my clutch bell. and just enough of it idling, it was engaging. I don't know. I have no idea. I pulled that clutch completely off of it. I had a brand new clutch that I had off of a Red Cat engine down here because I'm running low on clutches. But anyhow, I ended up pulling. I had that brand new. It had never seen any runtime on it. I pulled the spring off, throwed the 8K spring on that clutch. I had, matching bolts for it. Had never been ran. If it got, there wasn't no play in the clutch, in the bolts. Assembled it, took it out there. It fired up first thing. She sat there, didn't give me any trouble whatsoever on the clutch after that. So I don't know what happened with the clutch. It was it's really weird. I don't know, guys. This thing has just been an absolute pain in the butt. I managed to do almost a whole break-in on the one plug right after the clutch issue. I ran it and then I let it cool back down. I had enough time. I was going to finish running the end of that second tank out, and it wouldn't start. It kept giving me erratic idling towards the end of that tank anyways, and I thought maybe I was developing an air leak, which I wasn't. It actually ended up being the plug was going bad. Pulled that plug, put a brand new one in it, third tank. I think it might have been, it was the third tank on that one, and I started running it a little bit harder. Then towards the end of that third tank, it was running fine. I shut it down. It was the fourth tank. I went to take it to my mom's house, up at the farm, and I wasn't going to go around her, near her, with all this crap going on. Was just going to go up and run it. And I should have started it and checked it before I left. I loaded all my stuff, went up to the farm, pull. I noticed it wasn't sparking real good. At that point in time, I've been out of spark plugs. The place where I buy my plugs from, they're closed because all this, virus crap. The used plug I thought I had that was still good, I put it in there, no good. So I brought, when I come home that evening, just to make sure it wasn't an engine problem, I pulled a plug out of one of my other engines, slapped down in it, pop, choked it, unchoked it, second, third pull, boom, she fired to life, it was fine. So definitely plug issues, and it's still running rich. I was planning on putting, trying to tune it really well. This pipe is so freaking loud. I'm having trouble just determining if it's too lean or anything, because this pipe is just so ridiculously loud, guys. Dry pavement with these tires aren't going to survive much longer. These are the stock Rovan tires. I have killed these things in the blacktop. The end of that third tank, I got kind of overzealous and started ripping on it a little bit, and this thing will just bust sideways like a drift car with these tires on it on the blacktop. The engine definitely pulls well. Do I think it's 10 times the power over like my Rovan 32? I mean, not really. I mean, it is definitely faster. Of course, I'm running a 20-tooth pinion now. I can tell this Vertigo pinion already is definitely gonna last me a lot longer wear time than the Rovan pinion already. Everything else is held together pretty good on the